Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. Hello, welcome back to Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. Me host, Big Les. Make sure if you haven't already to go ahead and click the subscribe button down below, become a part of the Big LEZ'S League community. I've got a special guest on the podcast again today, Julian, a Mad Dragon supporter. We're going to be breaking down the best signings for each club and then going through our top five over the NRL as well for season 2026. Julian, how are you, mate?
I'm pretty good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. We were talking a bit off air, a bit dusty this morning.
Yeah. Went out for Mr. Zane Potter's big 21st, and yeah, I'm fine now.
You'll survive, mate. I think we've got youth on our side, which is the key.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through, mate, all of these signings, but I wanted to touch on it first, considering you are a Dragons fan.
Yeah.
Keon, mate, obviously just signed for 2027. How are you feeling?
Bro, I'm pumped. As a Dragons fan, I can speak for all of them. We're all pumped, man. We wanted him obviously a year early. Like we got Gutherson early and all that, but it is what it is. But Keon's a mad signing. Like it's a signing we needed, and it's great for the club. And it's good that he sees that the club is going in a good direction.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And like I even said it on the podcast myself. I can see him as a future leader in that side too. You know, he's obviously getting into that twilight zone. He's nearing 30. So, you know, by the time all of these Guthos and Cook and Val are all retired, he'll be in the peak of his powers. So I can easily see him being a leader in that side, a skipper in that side. Are you getting a similar sort of vibe from him?
Yeah, because he's very experienced, and obviously our forward pack and most of our heaps of players in our squad, they're young, so he's got great leadership, and it's just great for the club.
100%, brother. 100%. Well, let's get stuck in to the rest of the signings, more so for 2026 and 2027. I think if we were going to go for 2027, we'd be here for a couple of days. So we'll save 2027 for maybe next year. But let's get stuck in to the signings, brother. We'll start off with the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah.
They've obviously signed a couple of guys here, Grant Anderson, Tom Duffy from North Queensland, and All Blacks Tower.
Yeah.
Out of those ones, what one stands out to you the most?
I'd say Grand Anderson, I think, coming from that Melbourne system. He's gone to another great Brisbane system, and I can't lie, I don't really follow much of the other club signings unless it's like one of the big ones. Like
Yep.
little movements, I'm not really interested in. But yeah, see, I'm clueless there.
That's all right, brother. That's all right. Grant Anderson, you would have probably seen him obviously filled in the back line a couple of times for Melbourne across the year. Played a bit of 5'8" as well and in a couple of games too. So I think the versatility for me is the one that stands out. Really, really big fan of him. All Blacks Tower is the forward. He's obviously from the Dolphins, played a couple of games for them at the back end of the year. Had a little bit of a stink with Spencer Leniu as well in the game against the Roosters, but he's the one that I like. I think that he coming into that Broncos side, the Dolphins gave him a really big opportunity as well. He came through as a country centre, and they picked him up. I think he's in his late 20s as well. So heaps of potential there. I love what I saw from him at the back end of the year. And the Broncos, I think they haven't got any big names as of yet, and obviously everyone's waiting for them to re-sign Payne Haasting. That's probably the big thing. But I think that they've secretly got some good players, and they've got in what they need. They haven't really got too much else into the building. Obviously got Tom Duffy as well from North Queensland, so a bit of halves depth as well after losing Kobe Black. We'll move on to the next one, brother. Canberra. They've obviously got Jaden Brayley into the building. They've also got Sione Fainu, who is obviously from St. George. Dane Laurie and Kobe Black. We'll touch on Sione Fainu, mate, because obviously he's from the Dragons, and they obviously got Tamale over the previous year from the Dragons as well. It seems like they're stealing a few of your outside backs, mate.
I mean, it hurt seeing Tamale go because I don't know, he came through a bit of the system and he's young. And then he made his NRL debut end of 2024 against the Raiders, last game of the year. And then, it's sad to see that. But Sione for now, he's a mad winger. He's pretty close with him, chat to him every now and then. And I think that's a really good signing because we've seen how he can play at the Dragons. He's more of a fill-in player. Like like someone will get injured, he'll come in, but he just wants a first grade start, which I don't know if that will happen at Canberra still. But other than that, Dane Laurie looks another good outside back for the club.
Yeah, Dane Laurie's probably the standout for me there. Sione Finu, definitely a good pickup. And as you
Yeah,
said, he'll fill in really well in the back line if there's a couple of injuries there.
yeah,
But Dane Laurie for me is the big one. I think that, obviously struggling to get a crack at Penrith, sort of at the back end of his Tigers career, he sort of struggled to fit into the 17 there, was delegated to reserve grade a little bit. I do like the Dane Laurie one. I feel like if there's any chance of him to push himself into first grade, it is probably at Canberra. I mean, I know they've got Kyle Weeks there at the moment, who's at fullback, but Dane Laurie's more of an out-and-out fullback, whereas Kyle Weeks has sort of been moved into that position. Can play a ton of different roles. Kyle Weeks, halves. I think that he's probably built himself up big enough to probably do a stint in the centres at a pinch if he needed to as well. So I think that Kyle Weeks is probably the one where you can move around a little bit. Dane Laurie, for me, I think if he has a good enough preseason, and depending on how the Canberra Raiders go this year, and if they want to just, move some guys around, and Kyle Weeks has obviously played halfback for a little bit
yeah,
too in the last couple of years. So depending on how all that shapes out, Dane Laurie, I think, is probably a huge chance in cracking this 17. The one that I like is Kobe Black too. I think that he's a real chance at getting into the side. I'm not sure if you know too much about Kobe Black. Obviously, he played in the under-19s Origin for Queensland. Really, really good halfback, very good kicking game. And I think that with Sanders and I guess not so much confidence that they've shown in him early,
yeah.
I think that Kobe Black's probably a chance at cracking into this 17. Have you seen too much of Kobe Black?
I haven't.
Yeah, he's really, really, really good player. Good running game, very, very good kicker. I think he'll be a real smoky for the starting 7 spot for Canberra. I think it's going to be a real watch.
Fair enough.
Let's fly through then, mate. The Bulldogs, obviously Leo Thompson comes in. They've obviously got Cade Dykes, Sean O'Sullivan, Fletcher Baker, and Gordon Chan Kum Tong. I think it's pretty obvious who the standout is there, mate, isn't it?
It's Leo, mate. Obviously, it was massive for Newcastle. He'll be huge for Bulldogs. I think he's the Bulldogs' best signing. We've seen Sean O'Sullivan's been at like every club, honestly, but yeah, Gordon, Fletcher Baker. I don't know. I'm not sure about Gordon because he and Sean O'Sullivan they couldn't really fit into their previous clubs. I can't lie, but yeah, Leo Thompson is going to be huge for Bulldogs.
Well, I think the big thing for me is depth, right? They've signed a few guys that they can bring through if there are a couple of injuries. Leo's probably the only one you look at there and go, he's definitely going to be playing consistent first grade, and he's going to be their alpha through the middle of the field. You could see a little bit of discontent there at the Knights. Didn't really want to be there towards the back end of the year. We saw that reflected in a couple of his performances. I think he's really keen to beat the Bulldogs. I think that the preseason that he's had with Phil Gould, they've trained together and got special guys in to train him up through the preseason before the boys even came back in December and November. So I think that he's definitely going to be the watch. I think that he's put in a lot of work. He's going to be really fit coming into this year. And I think that he's going to be almost just what the Bulldogs need in regards to really pushing for further than what they've gotten in the past 2 years. And they've been doing really well, but I feel like they do need that alpha through the middle of the field to
100%.
move forward a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. He's a beast, bro. Like that forward packet, Bulldogs looks pretty terrifying. I can't lie. And the Vegas game, Dragons Bulldogs, it's very nerve wracking because we haven't won against Bulldogs in like a couple of years, and to do it in US would be amazing.
Yeah, well, that's obviously going to be the watch, right? You'll see, I guess, what your side's going to look like too. With
Yeah,
what we'll talk about the Dragons in a little while, and their signings. They've got a really good crop of players coming in, but that's going to be a real nice battle, eh? I'm sure that you're excited to see what that side's going to look like and where all the pieces fit for the Dragons.
yeah,
We'll save that for when they come up, though. The next team we'll talk about is the Dolphins.
yeah.
They got Brad Schneider from Penrith. They got Morgan Knowles from the Super League, obviously played for England in the Ashes as well at lock. and then Selwyn Cobbo, mate. I really like Selwyn Cobbo. I think that
Yeah,
he's going to be a guy that comes in and really reestablishes
yeah.
himself in the competition.
I'm liking the 100% with you what you just said. Cobbo, like Dolphins this season last year, it's either they had a few games where they won like it was like over 50 points, and then they'd lose by like 50 points. It was a bit of a on and off situation, but I think they can really push for finals this year, and Cobbo is the man to help him because he's a really it's it was sad to see him go down at Brisbane. Couldn't even Cobbo is the man for Dolphins to push for that finals run. Yeah.
100%. Look, obviously they've got Morgan Knowles in there as well. He's
Mm.
come over from St. Helens. I've got a little bit of a taste of Morgan Knowles in that game in the Ashes.
Mm.
Um, Tell you what, it was rough waking up for the Ashes every night. And I'll tell you what, I passed out a couple of times.
Yeah,
The last two games, I fell asleep at the second half, and then I woke up during the replay, so I ended up getting the rest of the game in when
yeah,
the replay came on Fox. But yeah, Morgan Knowles, mate, he is a gun. He looks really, really good. Did you end up watching a bit of the Ashes there?
yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
I watched some of it, and yeah, I did the same thing as you. I passed out. It happens in those internationals, like even the World Cup not too long ago. I passed out in Australia, lift the trophy. I'm just like, oh wow, I missed the whole game.
Oh, it's rough, mate. It is rough. But what can you do, right? It's over
Yeah,
there in England.
yeah,
I guess the only time they can put it on.
yeah,
Uh, but Morgan Knowles, mate, he looks very, very good. Just from the little bits and pieces I've seen. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the side straight away, just with the caliber of depth that they've got at the moment. There is a bit of chat about Francis Molo with a bit of an exit there the following year, whether they move things around and take Molo out, maybe Molo leaves a little bit early and they move Knowles into the side with the exodus of forwards that they've got, the amount of forwards that they've got there. Someone's going to have to be moved on. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting to watch. But very exciting times for the Finns.
yes.
Um, the Titans, mate. They've
Mm,
signed a couple of players. They've signed Curtis Moran from the Dogs. They've signed Luke Summerton from Penrith. Lockie Ilias, mate, obviously from the Dragons. It would have been rough as a Dragons fan to see him walk out the door.
yeah, like it just. I honestly think it was unfair with what happened with him at the Dragons. Like he was dropped after 7 games, and then he went on a mad run in reserve grade and went to the grand final. And yeah, it was just unfair on him. I don't think it was his fault, honestly.
Yeah, I'm of a
It's not a,
similar belief too.
yeah, like it's not a one man team, bro. Like there's a 5'8" there too, Shane. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Glover as well gone.
yeah.
Cody Ramsey's gone to the Roosters.
Mm,
Mate, half your New South Wales Cup side's gone.
yeah, I know, but it is what it is. It happens. Players come, players go. But it was a good season for the Cup boys.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Look, I guess Ilias is the one that stands out there. They've also got Max Fiangai, former Dragon too.
Yeah,
They've got him in the side.
yeah,
Ilias is the one that stands out to me, though, right? Really good kicking game. I think he's been unfair in a couple of his opportunities. I reckon even at South. I feel like with how demanding of the football your Cody Walkers and your Latrells are, he sort of really didn't get an opportunity to. I mean, he got the opportunity, but he was unable to sort of establish himself because you've got these Adonises around you that just command the football, and it's hard to sort of like. I mean, if you're got Cody Walker on one side of the ruck and you got Lockie Ilias on the other side of the ruck, and they're both calling for the footy, I think if you're a dummy half, you know who you're passing to, and it's probably not Lockie Ilias. So
yeah,
I think that Lockie Ilias was a little bit unlucky on that side of the fence, and then obviously at the Dragons with everything that happened there, lack of an opportunity, unfortunately, in first grade. But at the Titans, maybe a bit of an opportunity for him to poke himself in. They've come out and openly said that it's going to be Jaden Campbell and AJ to start the year in the halves.
yeah.
But you'd have to think that Ilias will force his way in at some stage.
100%, bro. Yeah, like, he's got to because they've got them halves like you just said. He's got to probably just kill it in reserve grade and see how it goes. If not, he's just stuck there, I guess. But I really hope the best for him. Like he's a really great player. Like he just like we said, didn't get the right chance. 7 games in, and that's it. Like yeah,
Yep, that's it, mate. That's it. Well, look, hopefully he does get an opportunity, as you said. I think
yeah,
that with I just don't see. It's going to be really hard to make Jaden Campbell, AJ work because they're just two very explosive off the cuff players. And
Yeah,
I know that's how the Titans play, but you sort of need someone to direct play a little bit, whether Ilias maybe comes in a bit more of a 13, Kieran 4 any type role,
yeah,
or what happens there. Hopefully he does get a bit of an opportunity to push into this side. And I think that, I think a lot of people, including myself, probably their best 17 compared to what the side is reportedly supposed to be. The best 17 probably does have Lockie Ilias there in 7. So we'll have to wait and see if that is the case a little bit later on. Just before we move on from the Titans, Max Fiongai, do you have much to do with him when he was at the Dragons? And what are
uh,
your thoughts on him as a signing?
not so really because he was obviously he's got another twin brother Matt who's currently still at Dragons, and now like I don't know, it was a bit of a battle between them both. Like it was very rare you see them both in the squad. Not I think it was last year. It was like the first time in history where a team had two set of twins where they had both Fines and both Couchmans, and you never see that again. Like Matt, um, oh Matt's the one at Dragons. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Max is the one at Titans. Yeah, we didn't see much of him. He was with Dolphins last year, and he didn't. I think he had played a couple games, but look, I don't know. I think it's just another depth signing, but he's still a gun like his brother. They're both guns, but yeah, Max is
Yeah,
pretty.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. I'm keen to see Max and him have a crack. I think that Max really talented. I just feel like he's struggled a little bit with the defensive side of things, and that's
mm,
probably been, I guess, his pet peeve in regards to finding a spot in first grade. And
yeah,
I'm keen to see if under a new coach, Josh Hannay, they're in a bit of a different spot at the moment. I think that Max Fiongai is guaranteed almost a spot in first grade now with the depth that the Titans currently have. They even just let go of Brian Kelly, so
yeah.
um, that he's obviously going to get a spot in first grade. Exciting to see if he can really establish himself. And I think that the good thing for Matt Fiongai is the fact that there isn't a lot of pressure on him because
Yeah,
there's really no one else that can come in. So
yeah,
Max Fiongai, very exciting times for him, and hopefully he can have a good year with the Gold Coast Titans. Manly Sea Eagles. We could go through all the signings, but I think it's pretty obvious who the best one is. It's Jamal Fogarty. I think that he coming in, bit of direction. It's probably what the best replacement you could have got for DCE as well.
100% right. Yeah, he's yeah, I'm with you on this one. Fogarty, great signing. Like DCE, we all thought it'd be one club player at Manly. It's a bit weird how he's just disappeared to Roosters for what 1 year, but Jamal Fogarty's the man to fucking. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't swear.
Oh mate, you go ahead. You can swear. That's all good, brother.
Jamal Jamal Fogarty's the man like to replace DCE because he had a cracker season with Canberra. It's a shame like Canberra had this mad run. Just a shame like they can't really do it again. If they kept the same team, they could go all the way this year. But it is what it is. I guess Fogarty's just looking for an opportunity, and he sees some potential in Manly. So and yeah, he's a great player. So Fogarty's obviously top signing. Other than that, Blake Wilson from Bulldogs.
Yep.
He obviously he wasn't getting much. He's also was a depth player because he had only a couple of games on the wing there for Bulldogs, and yeah, he's just seeking opportunity at Manly. He's also a bloody young.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Blake Wilson will be the watch for sure.
Yeah,
Obviously, Tommy Talau has gone to the Roosters as well. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess there is a little bit of more of an opportunity for him. Not that, Tommy Talau was, I guess, holding him back, but they've got so many outside backs there at the Manly Seagulls. And Blake Wilson, it will be hard for him to get in, but I have confidence that, if there is an injury and there's an opening for him, he's going to be a guy that can force his way in a little bit there at the Manly Seagulls as well.
100%.
Kobe Hetherington for me stands out too. I feel like him coming over from Brisbane, Jake Trbojevic obviously slowing down a little bit. He'll probably move into the front row. And then Kobe Hetherington comes in at 13 for me. I think that's perfect. I think that Kobe Etherington obviously held back a little bit at the Broncos, more so a bench guy that could come on, a little bit of leg speed there. I feel like he'll have a much more established role at 13 with Manly, really good ball player. Ex-hooker as well, but just seemed a little bit too big to be a hooker, so more so moved into that lock forward role. But absolute gun, and I really like that move. What are your thoughts on Kobe Hetherington, mate? Have you, the little bits and pieces you've seen of his game?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of him, like you just said. Was held back a little bit there at Brisbane, but yeah, keen to see him play. I don't have too much information about him. But,
Yeah, easy, bro. Easy. We'll move on to Melbourne. Mania Wateri from Canberra. Not sure how much of this bloke you've seen. Hasn't played too much NRL, but really good player. He's basically a dude that can just play anywhere. Fullback, centre, 5'8", halfback. Can just play absolutely anywhere. So for me, that reeks Tyron Wishart replacement, but that's obviously for after 2026.
Sure.
You've then got Jack Hetherington, who comes over from the Newcastle Knights. He's sort of a guy that's been in and out of a lot of squads. He's almost had a bit of a Matt Lodge-esque journey where, he's been coming off the bench a couple of times for different sides, but just really hasn't been able to, lock himself down a spot. I feel like at Melbourne under Craig, it's going to be a different story. I think that you'll see him in the 17 there, and if they can get the best out of him, he's got a pretty solid ceiling, in my opinion. Little bits and pieces you've seen of Jack Hetherington.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think like you said, anyone under that Melbourne system, not only with Craig, I think it's just that Melbourne system. I think he'll do well, and like you said, he'll slide into that 17, different club, different story. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, brother, 100%. We'll move on then to Newcastle.
We know this one.
Again, yeah, we know this one. Dill Brown.
Yeah.
Big signing. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you see him playing 5'8"? Do you see him playing halfback? Where does he fit into this side for you, and what are your thoughts?
I see him playing 5'8", yeah, because he was there. He's been playing 5'8" for ages at Parramatta, well, pretty much his whole career. And I don't know who's their halfback.
Well, it looks to probably be, I guess, Sam Smith, but like a lot of the Newcastle fans wanting Fletcher Sharp in there somewhere. And I mean, the little bits and pieces we've seen of Dill Brown at halfback haven't been great. I know that he killed it for New Zealand, but it was at 5'8" as well. And Kieran Foran was helping direct sort things as well, and letting Dill Brown play that off the cuff style of footy. I just don't know if, and I don't think they have the forward pack to afford Dylan Brown in 7 either. I feel like they need a better forward pack for him to get the best out of him at halfback, and let him be able to sort of be the main playmaker there. I feel like you do need someone to direct play a little bit and allow Dill Brown to play his best footy in the 6. If they had a better forward pack, I think that you could definitely have Dill Brown and Fletcher Sharp in the halves, but they just don't have that at the moment. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be 5'8", and the rumours that I've sort of heard suggest that it's going to be 5'8" with Sandon Smith at halfback, which another one of their signings, obviously, as well from the Roosters, I think is a really, really good pickup. What about yourself?
Yeah, Sandon Smith's a great pickup from Roosters there. Him and Dylan Brown, because they're both pretty young.
Yep.
And yeah, I think honestly, put them together, they'll kill it. The halves pairing with Knights in the last couple of years have been a bit chaotic. Like the other couple of years ago, they threw Ponga in there and he kept getting knocked out. Like old mate didn't know what he was doing in the halves. So yeah, no, I'm liking Dylan Brown here. He's got that $10 million deal. I don't know if there's a clause to that, but that's crazy work from him. But I'll see him, yeah, Dylan Brown and Sandon Smith in the halves. And honestly, the Knights, they'll chop and change. They'll probably chuck in Sharp there too every now and then. You never know if they win games or not, or they get close, because it's chaotic there.
100%, mate. I agree. You probably will expect to see a few changes depending on how they go throughout the year.
Yeah.
Let's move now to North Queensland. Again, I think it's a pretty easy guess as to who the best signing is going to be, mate. It's Reid Marnie. What are your thoughts? I think it's pretty like for Reece Robson, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah, but mad replacement for Reece. Reid Marnie, like I don't know, like he's a gun, but the Bulldogs they went crazy. Like they threw him away, and then they just got, honestly, I don't know. Reid Marnie will kill it at North Queensland. I think he just wants redemption, because he loved the Bulldogs, and like I said, they just kind of threw him away. But I think he'll kill it there. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Matt Lodge, I think he's another great signing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that he's good, brother. I think that he'll force his way in somewhere. I feel like he'll be in that 17 because their forward pack, like it's great. They've just lost a big leader in Jordan McLean. I feel like he'll sort of find a way into this 17. I really hope that this is the move for him where he can establish himself, where you don't hear any dramas. I feel like a fresh start, North Queensland, the sweltering heat. That'll sort of get him in the right headspace to hopefully have a good season there for North Queensland.
There's another
Um,
there's another name there, James Walsh. He's
yeah,
um a local boy here from Wollongong, and yeah, he's signed. I think he obviously was a Dragons junior. I'm pretty sure, but he
yep,
never made his way there. He never made his way up. I think he trained with them like for a couple of years, this and that, in the lower grades. And then he signed with Dolphins, and he hasn't played much first grade. I don't even think he's made his NRL debut. I'm not sure. I don't know too much. So
yeah.
he's another young gun. It'll be great for North Queensland. Hopefully he can slide in. Hopefully he's very young. So that's
Yeah, for sure, bro. James Walsh, I was gonna chat with him. I just didn't know if you were aware of his game, so I thought I'd leave it. But he's good, really, really good. Played in the trial
yeah,
at the start of last year, killed it. Played really, really well. I think that he'll do really well at the Cowboys, and I almost think he's a smoky to be in the 17 because he can play a little bit of back row, play a bit of lock, play a bit of center. So he can just fit in a number of spots and we know that they're a bit light in the outside backs at the moment, or at least in first grade quality outside backs,
yeah.
the Cowboys. So I think that he'll be a bit of a smoky to land somewhere in there. That's for sure. Parramatta, you're Jack DeBellin. I know that you're a bit cut about this one. What are your thoughts on the move for JDB and
Uh,
obviously your thoughts on him leaving the Dragons?
Look, it's a bit of a tough one because him himself never wanted to leave. He loves the Dragons, obviously with the his history or whatever. The club stood by him, and he didn't sign with anyone else or whatever. The club got his back, and he made his way back to first grade. And he said to me and a lot of other people, he never wanted to see. Fuck, I repeat myself here. He wants to be a one club player, and he never wants to leave, and he never wanted to leave, but they never re-signed him because he was in the last couple of years they were just re-signing him on 1 year contracts, and yeah, just wanted to be one club man. He really loves the Red Bee, but yeah, they just didn't re-sign him, and obviously he's got no choice but to sign whoever wanted to take him, and it's heartbreaking for us Dragons fans because fuck, you never know what could happen at the end of this year in October.
Yeah, exactly, brother. Exactly. Talk to me about him going to Para though. I feel like it's a really, really good move for them.
um, Obviously he's a bit older than everyone else. He's got experience. He's a leader. Yeah, I just think he's got great leadership, and he'll just show the boys at Para, the forward pack there, how it's done because he knows how it's done, and yeah, really great signing for them. Yeah, happy for the Parramatta fans. But I'm also happy about the Lomax situation.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's a little bit of payback on your end, I guess,
Yeah.
for the whole JDB thing. But look, I think he's going to do really well
Mm,
at Para. I feel like as you said, a bit of experience. He comes in as a bit of a leader in that pack as well now, along with guys like Junior Paulo and
mm,
these sort of older guys. I really like the signing. I feel like it's really good that they've got a good set of ball playing forwards too. It's going to be one of the more dynamic teams. I wouldn't be shocked by end of season if they're the top for offloads and that sort of areas. I think that's the side that they're going to be. They're going to be very fast moving. They're going to be very second phase footy. And I'm really keen to see Parramatta go. Jonah Pezzett, though, is I think the one that's probably the top signing for them, right? I feel like he coming in, obviously going to play in that 5'8" role for a year. What are your thoughts on that pickup?
the contract, I think we can all say is a bit how you going. Like he's going to Parramatta for a year, then he's going to Brisbane, but I think he'll just have killer year at para, and I think another team that can also make finals because they had a great back end of the season last year, and Pezzett will kill it there as a top signing right there.
100%. And I think the big thing for me looking at that signing as well, you know how good Moses is with his kicking game?
Oh yeah,
Having two genuine, really good kicking options on last is just going to be absolute hell for opposition. You just don't know where the ball's going to go. Plus, you got Dylan Walker there. You know, you've got guys that, you know, very, very good ball players. Second phase, as I said, Moses and Pezzett can run the footy really well, kicking really well. Iongi at the back there, like they've got a real dangerous team going into next season. They've recruited really well to fit that. And I know that the 1 year deal's a little bit weird before he, you know, bucks off to Brisbane. But I think that, you know, they've got a young guy, Lorenzo Talatena, who they're quite keen on, who I think that they're probably planning to bring in that 2027 year. There might be someone that's available that they can pick up as well. But I think looking at it now, they've got a really good team for this year. They've got a very open window for me if they want to be a top four side. So that's obviously going to be very exciting to watch. Penrith, they've got a few signings that I guess fill spots and really good for depth. And I think that's what they've sort of looked to do over the past couple of years, and just bringing guys in that you sort of look at and go, yeah, where do they sort of fit into this team and how is this replacing what they've lost? This is the first year that they've lost no one.
Yeah.
They've really lost no one of really big significance that's been in their 17, right?
Yeah.
I think that they've recruited really well for that too. They haven't really needed to go too hard into the market.
No.
But I do think that their best signing for this year is probably Freddie Lussick.
Yeah.
Obviously comes over from the New Zealand Warriors, who they've got a couple of guys from now. I think that most of their signings are from New Zealand other than Jack Cogger.
Yeah.
But he really, really good season in Cup, played a little bit of middle forward too, which is interesting. So I think he's a genuine chance for 14 as a bit of a utility option there that can just come on anywhere. And the plus for me, and what I guess holds him in front of Cogger, is that Lussick can come on at lock. Lussick can come on at 9. He can maybe do a job if a half goes down. He can, you know, do a little bit of more of a ball playing lock forward sort of role there and play there at a pinch. I think that's probably what holds him ahead of Jack Cogger, because if Mitch Kenny wants to play the full 80 minutes, it's not like you're going to throw Jack Cogger on at lock.
Yeah.
You're probably more likely to throw Freddie Lussick into that sort of role. So I'm a big fan of the Freddie Lussick signing. The little bits and pieces that you've seen of him, mate, are you in the similar sort of boat?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I feel like because, like you said, he can play can play in a bit more positions than Jack Cogger. I think Jack Cogger plays halfback, doesn't he? Any of the halves, and hooker maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen him. Yeah, so they're two really great signings. They might just have to fight for that 14 spot. Maybe you never know. Or the bench.
Yeah, I think that's genuine competition there for sure, and I'm excited to see who gets that spot. But I'm a big fan of Freddie Lussick. I feel like he has put himself in a really good position to earn himself a spot in that jersey 14, and I think that's exactly what Ivan and the club have got him there for. Now to your club, mate.
Let's go.
St. George. I think the big one that stands out for me is Dan Atkinson, right?
Yeah.
He's probably the best signing that you guys have. I think that coming in at halfback, he's going to do a really good job. Talk to me about your thoughts on that one.
Yeah. Daniel Atkinson is my top signing. He's the man. He killed it at Sharks. He just wanted obviously another opportunity, and he's getting a great one here at Dragons. Because his time at the Sharks, I remember he filled in a couple times for what's his name? I'm having a mental blank here. Nico Hines, sorry. A couple times there was, or even it was him and Nico sometimes in the halves. Because Braden Trindle got injured a few times, and they killed it, bro. I think they won many games together. I remember they won a couple of years ago. They won in Melbourne, and Daniel Atkinson killed it. I think two of the only clubs that beat Melbourne in Melbourne were Sharks and Dragons, 2024 season. But we got to see glimpses of him last year. Came off the bench a few times, and there were times where I just felt bad. It was 18th man or something, but I think he's going to kill it, bro. he's gonna bloody kill it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be halfback with the man himself, Cole Flanagan. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that he'll. It looks like he's going to get that 7 jersey, or at least the first
yeah,
crack.
100%.
Really good kicking game. I love his second phase, and I think if there's any evidence that you need that he's a good halfback, go and watch that game against the Melbourne Storm, where he pretty much was the only half in that team. They had Blake Brayley, they had Cam McInnes playing a little bit of a hybrid role, but he carved up, and I think they won that game. So.
Yeah,
Um, he's a gun, Dan Atkinson.
yeah,
I actually like the two wingers that you guys have gotten, and
yeah,
shout out to your podcast, mate, the Saints podcast. You
yeah,
guys had on Shane Flanagan, who was talking very highly of David Farley and Sedu too.
yeah.
Talk to me about those two.
Yeah, they good. Pretty sure. Yeah, one's from David Farley's from Penrith, and I don't know how to say his last name.
Sedu too.
Sedu two is from the Warriors there, and yeah, great signing, great pickups. I know they're not too young, they're not too old. They're sort of in the middle there, which is great. Still like in their prime type of age, whatever. But yeah, spoke to Shane and he said during obviously now preseason, last year when we spoke to him, not too long ago, he goes they're in the spot for like start on top of Tuipulotu and Sloan, but I'm not too sure if Tuipulotu and Sloan are having a great preseason, I'd chuck him in there. But or just one or the other, either Tuipulotu or Sloan, one or the other, not both. But they're looking really good, as Shane said. And another really great signing, Mr. Josh Kerr. We also had him on the potty as well. He's got mad character. Like he's the best, bro. Like you can't hate him.
Yeah, weapon. I think that he'll be really, really good just as another experienced guy in that pack. You lost Dave Clemmer, so I think that just getting a like for like experienced guy like Kerr, who's been at the club before, I think is really, really nice for the Dragons. But yeah, look, exciting times for you guys. You're building a really good team, got some good depth. I think that the fact that you got Farley and Sedu 2 in as well when you've lost Tamale and now Sione Fainu, I
Yeah,
think just getting good young players in. I know that David Farley is not actually that young. I think he's like 27, but just
yeah,
getting good guys in to replace those young talent that you've lost, I
mhm,
think is a really, really good sign for your recruitment moving forward too. And then getting in guys like Keon as well, who we spoke about at the start,
yeah,
like that's just gonna people want to play with Keon. People are going to want to play with Dan Atkinson once he establishes himself a little bit more. People are going to want to play with, your Guthos and your Vals before
yeah,
they retire. So that's obviously going to be really enticing for guys to go over to the Dragons. When before it might have been a little bit harder to recruit players over to the Dragons compared to other, big dogs in the competition. Would you agree?
100%, bro. I think as soon as we signed Cookie, Gutho, Val. People are like, what the hell's going on at the Dragons? Like, how? Like, it's I don't know, but I think as soon as we got them in, that's when it all changed. Because I feel like Ben when we had Ben Hunt and Lomax, it was a bit like I'd say it was toxic because Ben Hunt is just he wanted to leave for ages. We all know that he wanted to leave and he just decided to resign and didn't see out that contract. And yeah, I've just heard a lot of shit about Lomax too. I think we just know that now that his contract, whatever the hell's going on with him. Yeah, heard he was a bit toxic and yeah, just as soon as we signed Gutho and Cookie, Val, I think that's when everything changed. Honestly, now that we've got Daniel Atkinson, all these other players coming in, like the whole squad, and then we developed all them young players. I think we made the most club debutants. I think, or we were up there with Souths.
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. And look, building a really good culture
Yeah,
going into the next couple of years too, mate. Very, very exciting times for the Dragons.
yeah,
Now to my club, South Sydney.
great.
Some good signings, some really good young signings. Ed Cozzy, Moala, Graham Talfa, who had opportunities throughout the year. Yeah, Tolfa, really, really good players there. Bronson Garlic, you've got Jonah Glover, Latrell Seagwalt from South Logan, but more so from Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah,
And then Big Dave Fafita.
oh,
That's the one that stands out to me. I'll tell you what, if you told me 2 years ago, even a year ago, that we'd get Dave Fafita, I would have laughed at you. I honestly would have laughed at you. I would not have believed a word coming out of your mouth. But
Yeah.
yeah, he obviously signs on. I really like it. I think that if Wayne can get the best out of Dave, geez, it's going to be trouble for this competition. What are your thoughts?
100%, bro. Obviously, we haven't seen really too much of him. He's had a bit of a heavy 2025 season there Titans. I think he didn't play too much first grade, didn't he?
Yeah, no, didn't play too much first grade. Had an ankle injury, I
Yeah,
believe,
and
and
like,
was in and out. Didn't want to play on the right side either, which
yeah,
had a bit of drama there with Desi. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. So I'm glad South picked him up. I'm sure he's a good guy. Well, he's got a good relationship with Wayne there. So Wayne poached him, obviously Queenslanders. So I'm excited to see him in that South side because an uninjured South side is a dangerous side. I'm telling
Mm.
you that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Hopefully, we can keep everyone on the park. You got Whiten, you've got Trell, you've got Jai Gray, you've got all of these guys.
Done.
Brandon Smith. It is crazy how we've got this roster. I mean, everyone says that the Roosters are over the cap. Far out. There's going to be an investigation into us soon because we've got a pretty good looking team.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how all of these guys join together and what the actual 17 looks like, and hopefully they can find some success as well.
well, I've heard Trell's been in the centres. Jai Gray
Yeah,
in fullback, so it's
yeah, he is. Trell will be at left center.
yeah.
And that left side, mate, Jesus Christ. Like Trell, Dave Fafita, Alex Johnston, you've got Jai Gray looming around there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
mate, that's perfect stuff. It's good gear. You're getting me excited for the season, tell you that for
oh,
free.
let's
Um, Roosters.
go.
Mate, DCE is probably the one that stands out there. Reece Robson.
Yeah.
You know what? I retract my comment from before. These guys are definitely over the cap. What what's
Yeah.
what's your thought, mate? On the DCE move in
Um.
particular?
Yeah. Like I spoke about it earlier. It's a bit. I don't know why he didn't finish his career at Manly, but we all know Roosters and their money talks and you know what's going on. You don't know what's going on there. Paper bags, bro. Like I don't know what they offered him, but he's on less. But they would have like given him a full house and car, whatever. But I think obviously he's going to be starting. He's not ever going to be playing reserve grade at Roosters there because, yeah. Other than that, Reece Robson, yeah, another great signing. But yeah, Roosters also looking scary because yeah, they've still got their like even they no one said they'll make finals last year. Well, that's what I've been hearing like at the start of last year, midway, whatever, because they started the season how you going, and then they just made their way up. But yeah, another tough side. Cody Ramsey, I don't know if he'll fit into that first grade side because he
Mm.
killed it in Dragons Cup last year. But you never know with Roosters. They've got a great side there.
It does reek of a succession plan for
Yeah,
Teddy, doesn't it? I think
does.
that's probably the long term goal. I like Mark's leaving at the end of this year.
Mm.
I think that there's probably an opportunity for him to maybe just sit on that right wing for a couple of years. I
Yeah,
mean, they've got Ruben Garrett coming in as well, so I mean that just throws that
yeah, I forgot about that.
theory down the toilet. But look, I mean, I think there'll be opportunities for him, depending on if Tedesco maybe plays State of Origin too.
Yeah, that's
You
what.
know, that could obviously be a little bit of a gateway for him to jump in. But
Mm.
yeah, good player. Definitely had a good year for you guys in Cup, didn't he?
Yeah, and obviously before the his situation happened, his sickness he had, he would have been. I reckon he would have been Dragons honestly long time fullback because he was there for like a full year playing fullback, or at least most of the year. And then yeah, that happened. So very mad potential. It's good to see a player like that come back because he got told he'll never play again, and look at him now.
Yep, 100%, 100%. Let's move through, mate. We'll go to the Wars, up the Wars.
Ooh,
Look, not too many
I don't know.
massive Adonis signings here.
Yeah.
But I like the look of Alafiana Khan Pereira. It just really depends on where they can fit him in because
Mm,
you got Dallin, you've got Adam Pompey, you've got Rocco Berry, you have got, jeez, this is going to test my footy knowledge here. You've got a ton of guys there anyway who are going to be fighting for that spot. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, obviously there as well.
Yeah.
So that's your back line. Like where does Alfiana Khan Pereira fit? You're going to have to probably one of those guys is going to miss out. You know, there's a lot of criticism on the way of Dallin Watene-Zelezniak midway through the year and his form and defense.
Yeah.
Okay, Barry's been in and out with injury. Maybe that hurts him a little bit. What are your thoughts?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I'll just be with you on this one. They all just have to fight for a spot, like
Yeah.
especially him. I'm not too familiar with anyone else in that list.
Well, look, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do there, the Wires, but that's probably the signing that that stands out.
Yeah.
Hayes Mellors, I can definitely speak on. He's really good. South Sydney winger, very, very harsh to let him go. I think it's similar, like to give you a bit of a comparison, like you guys obviously losing Tamale and wanting to keep him in there. I sort of feel the same way about Hayes Mellors. Like I feel like he would have been a really good one to keep. I feel like he could have pushed his way in with all the Tyron Munro stuff and just a few moving pieces. He's a good player, really, really good player. So we'll see what happens there. But that might be even another guy that if he plays too well in New South Wales Cup, maybe he finds his way in to the side as well. And then the Tigers, mate. Again, it's pretty obvious who the top signing is here, mate. It's Kai Pearce-Paul. I'm excited about him. What about yourself?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he stands out obviously. Yeah, we didn't really see him. We saw him a little bit at Newcastle there, but I feel like he's coming in at Tigers here, and he's got all them experienced players helping him out.
Yeah, no, Kai Pearce-Paul is very, very good. Back rower, obviously came over from the Super League for an opportunity there, landed at Knights. Obviously wanted to play with his good mate Dom Young, and he's killed it. He's killed it over there at Newcastle, and I think the Tigers are going to use him really well. They're building a very nice looking pack with a few young guys coming through as well, where you sort of look at that and it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. So Kai Pearce-Paul will definitely be one to watch there. Mate, yep, you go.
Bunty.
Oh, Bunty. Yeah, big Bunty. Hectic Fred's favourite man.
Yes.
Bunty Afoa. Love that signing. I think he'd be good too.
You never know. He could slide in. Honestly, I can see it happening.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be at some stage for sure in that 17.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good opportunity for him, right? Because he's been out of the side for 2 years now for the Warriors, and just really fighting to get back into this team. I really like this signing. I think that's a really, really good signing. I think that he'll definitely be a guy that comes off the bench for them a couple of times, and hopefully the fresh start is enough. Hopefully the fresh start is enough for him.
100%.
Look, let's get into the top 5, mate. I'll go first. Look, at 5, I've got Atkinson. For all the things we spoke about, he's going to come in. He's going to do really, really well.
Yep.
I like the fact that they've gone for something a little bit different and they've taken a risk there with him too, because, you know, more generally a 5'8" can play a bit of fullback. I think he actually came through as a fullback at the Sharks as well. So he's doing really well. He's doing really good things. I think that he looks to be having a really good preseason as well. Shane Flanagan speaks very highly of him. So he's one that I'm excited about. Number 4 for me would be Dylan Brown going over there to Newcastle. I think that that's going to be a good one if he plays 5'8".
Yeah.
Just depends on the forward pack for me. I think that's actually probably the only thing that's holding him back from being higher up on my list is the fact that they probably don't have the forward pack for him yet. But keen to see their recruitment and if they can build a really nice forward pack for him to play his best football. Dave Fafita's number 3. I think that him at South Sydney, with the side that they've got already, it is going to be an absolute nightmare for other teams. DCE and Reece Robson for me would be number 2 because I just think that combo for the Roosters, that they'd have to be a top 4 side. Otherwise, what are we doing? And then Jonah Pezzett for me is number 1. I think him and Mitch Moses are going to be the best halves pairing in the competition by season's end. Just with the kicking game. The side that they've got, they're a top 4 side. They're a premiership contender, and Jonah Pezzett's going to be a big part of that for me. What about yourself? You got your list there?
Yeah, I've got started a bit of a list. I'm gonna start from the bottom again.
Go.
I'm gonna agree with you. I've seen other people's top signings, and I haven't seen Atkinson in there. I just think it's an underrated signing. I can't lie. So I'm gonna have him at 5. At 4, I'm gonna have Reece Robson coming in from North Queensland. There, that Rooster squad is looking pretty good. That was fourth. At third, I'm gonna say Dylan Brown. Yeah, massive contract. Still young, still a gun. Killed it at New Zealand there. Yeah. Number two, I'm gonna say Leo Thompson coming in for Bulldogs. Yeah, it's just that forward pack is crazy, bro. Like they're scary. Like I just saw their promo, behind the scenes shots, and oh, bro, Bulldogs are looking scary. Except Lockie there. Yeah, number one, I'm gonna say, Peasant. He's gonna kill it, bro. He's had a cracking year so far. Last year, and yeah.
Yeah, bro. Look, I think that's a pretty fair list. And I mean, there's a lot of sides that had some really good pickups.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hopping on, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure. Why don't you give your podcast a bit of a plug? Where can people find you?
We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Pretty much everywhere, I think.
Yep.
You just we're on Instagram, obviously the Saints podcast, everything Dragons related. Obviously, so yeah, like I said, everything. Yeah, the Saints podcast. Shout out to my co-hosts Jackson and Elijah. Without them, none of this would happen. And me,
All right,
obviously.
brother.
Yeah.
Obviously, mate. Obviously, what are you talking about? Thanks for coming on again, mate. If for Big LEZ'S League listeners, click down below, subscribe, become a part of the Big LEZ'S League community. We'll collab with the Saints podcast as well on YouTube, so you'll be able to subscribe to them straight away. Make sure to subscribe to all the podcasts on all the podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts from. Instagram, TikTok, all that great stuff. We're everywhere. So subscribe to us everywhere. And we'll see you guys in the next one.